Today on Hands On Photography, we're going to talk a bit about photography inspiration. You know, sometimes you get into a creative rut and you go and pick up that camera and you just can't quite figure out what to do or what to shoot. So we're going to talk about that. Y'all stay tuned.
Podcasts you love
from people you trust.
This is TWiT.
Listeners of this program get an ad-free version if they're members of Club TWiT. $7 a month gives you ad-free versions of all of our shows, plus membership in the Club TWiT Discord, a great clubhouse for TWiT listeners. And finally, the TWiT Plus feed with shows like Stacy's Book Club, The Untitled Linux Show, The Giz Fizz, and more. Go to twit.tv/clubtwit. And thanks for your support.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I am Pruitt. This is Hands On Photography. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me today. I'd like to sit down and share different tips and tricks that are going to help make you a better photographer as well as a better post processor. Now, this week, I have a bit of feedback from you, the loyal Hands On Photography listeners, and I felt like this is a great topic of discussion. Actually, this feedback comes from one of our not only loyal Hands On Photography listeners, but they are a loyal Club TWiT member. So let's go ahead and pull this bit of feedback up. This comes from Joe at Pruitt, and it says, "Hey, one thing that I like to do when I'm in a creative rut is turn to some photography books that inspire me. Not sure whether you've done an episode on that already, but it would be cool to hear from you regarding books that you'd like to turn to." All right. So, Mr. Joe, I totally dig this and love the idea that you're picking up some books to figure out a way to get inspired, because you know what? Creative ruts happen. It is what it is. I don't care what art discipline you're in, whether it be writing, photography, painting, even just acting or what have you. There are times where you get in a bit of a rut creatively, and sometimes you just have to shake it loose some kind of way. And there's a lot of different things that you can do. And you mentioned going to books for some inspiration to help shake that rut. And I got to be honest with you, I don't read a lot of photography books. I just don't. I pick up some from time to time. You know, I read some of Mr. Rick Salmon's books. I read Don Komarechka's books from time to time. But I can't say that I go to those books for inspiration. You know what I'm saying? Picking up photography books for me is just something I would do for pleasure, for leisure, if you will. I don't necessarily go there and look to be fired up. What I have done in the past, though, is I like to just check out, you know, good old Instagram. And it's as simple as that. I like to check out good old Instagram and check out accounts like yours, Byte for Byte over on Instagram, and use you and other photographers out there that can help, you know, inspire me to go out and try a particular shot. I know that you can do that with books or what have you, but that's just not me. But Instagram and Vero and things like that, even Twitter, have a lot of different photographers out there that I enjoy following. I love following Brian Minier. I love following you. I love following Trey Ratcliffe, even though he's not posting this much. There's a lot of different ones out there. Andre Brown, who we just had on the show recently, Steve Brazel, Alan Hess. There's tons and tons of them. And, you know, I don't necessarily shoot the same discipline that the photographers I follow tend to shoot, but it's nice just checking out what they're doing, because there's things that I can pick up on, such as, you know, how do they freeze motion, or how do they set up lighting and things like that? Or how do they, the most important thing, what story are they trying to present at the particular shot, you know? So I like to follow those folks and get inspired. Now, another thing that comes to my mind, and this is something that I have to dig back into, back at 2016, I had to go back and look this up, because I was having a time back in 2016 where I was just flat out struggling creatively and didn't really know what to do. Granted, I've been fine ever since then, from an inspirational standpoint or creative standpoint. But I remember back then it was a really, really, really hard time for me. And I spoke to a friend of mine who's down in Southern California. She knows who she is. Thank you so much, because I still lean on this and still share this quite regularly with people. And what I had to do to get out of that creative rut was take a bit of her advice, and it was a 30-day photography challenge. All right, so I know that sounds a bit cliche. And yes, this is the end of the year of 2022 at the time of recording, and we're getting ready to go into the new year. And when the new year starts, you always see these little challenges. Hey, I'm going to challenge myself and do, I think the most popular one is Photo 365 or something like that, where basically you're going to shoot a photograph every single day for 365 days. I bet the percentage of people that are actually following along on that and doing it, with some discipline, maybe less than 1%. That's just my opinion. But I'm not saying do something like that. What I am saying is I use a 30-day challenge for myself. And when I set out to do this challenge, there was a couple rules that I had in mind. It was shoot something every single day. It didn't necessarily have to focus on landscape. It didn't necessarily have to focus on street. I had to shoot something every single day. Now, if your discipline is more so about landscape photography, maybe you want to do a challenge and just have maybe for 2 weeks, where 1 week you're shooting something every single day that's based on landscape, and another week you're shooting something every day that's based on macro or what have you, or based on animals or birds or something, just something that's going to break it up. Maybe if you do every other day, one day is landscape, the other day is something outside of landscape that just sort of breaks up the monotony and just gets that other side of your brain fired up and getting you thinking a little bit more creatively. Now, for me, when I did the challenge, the extra step in it was I wanted to publish a blog post about it. So I did. I made a blog post about it for every single day for 30 days. And again, it just sort of helped me with not only getting the photograph, but it helped me with my writing, because I needed to exercise those muscles to get my writing out as well. You don't necessarily have to do that. You don't even have to publish these images of your challenge to social media or to anybody. Just do it for you. It doesn't have to be 30 days. It doesn't have to be 2 weeks or what have you. Just figure out some type of finite challenge for yourself. I do recommend making it, at least a week, because that's obtainable. I know people get busy and things like that, but even with getting busy, make the daggum time to put yourself in behind the camera and clicking on something to capture. I don't care what it is. It could be your morning coffee. It could be your dinner, anything. It doesn't matter. Just get yourself in that mindset of, I need to be framing up a shot, framing up a composition, clicking that shutter, and things are just going to start to happen. And again, for me, this was back in 2016 when I did this exercise, and I've been fine ever since. I literally don't have a problem picking up my camera in a day and snapping a photograph and feeling fine about it. And even with that, it's not necessarily saying it's something that I snap and publish to my Instagram or Twitter or anything like that. It's just the exercise of continuing to shoot, continuing to keep those muscles worked out. And when it's time to present something, I'm ready to present something. All right. So I hope that helps. Joe, thank you so much for the message. I totally get people grabbing books and having those as some type of inspirational tools. Nothing wrong with that. Hey, let me know the books that you have that you just recently picked up that you found to be quite inspirational. Maybe I could share that with my followers and friends here on social media, even share it there in our Club TWiT Discord. So let me know. I really do appreciate hearing from you, my man. All right, folks, that is going to do it for this week's episode. Actually, that's going to do it for the episodes for the year. We're going to go ahead and go dark here at TWiT Studios for the remainder of 2022. I want to say thank you to all of you that have been hanging out and joining me each and every Thursday on the network. Continue to share it out. Continue to leave the star ratings in whatever podcast app that you're using. Share the website with folks, twit.tv/HOP for hands-on photography. It really does help the show out. Let's continue to grow the hands-on photography community in the coming year. Shout out to my man, Mr. Victor. Mr. Victor, thank you so much for another outstanding year. It's always a joy working with you, and it's always a joy giving you a bit of hard time because there's sometimes you give me a hard time in the post edit, and I absolutely love it. Thank you so much, my man, for everything you've done. All right, folks. Hey, have a good end of the year. Safely create and dominate. And I will see you all next time. Take care. Hey, folks, I'm Ant Pruitt. And what do you get your favorite tech geek that has everything? A Club TWiT gift subscription, of course. TWiT podcasts keep them informed and entertained with the most relevant tech news podcasts available. With the Club TWiT subscription, they get access to all of our podcasts ad-free. They also get access to our members-only Discord, access to exclusive outtakes, behind the scenes, and special content such as AMAs, which I just love hosting, plus exclusive shows such as Hands on Mac, Hands on Windows, and the Untitled Linux Show. Purchase your geek's gift at twit.tv/clubtwit, and it will thank you every day.